kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and glory forever. Amen.
Join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening. Roll call, please.
Mr. Detra?
Here.
Mr. Singleton?
Here.
Mr. Stoney?
Here.
Mr. Yurda?
Here.
Mrs. Wiggins? Here.
Okay, do I have a motion to accept the agenda and the addendum, please?
Motion?
I have a motion. Do I have a second? Second. I have a second. Roll call.
Mr. Singleton?
Yes.
Mr. Stoney?
Yes.
Mr. Detra?
Yes.
Mr. Yurda?
Yes.
Mrs. Wiggins?
Yes.
Sorry.
Okay, public participation. Brooke, the salaries.
Lots have happened. I think I missed the December one because we had our 5th grade music concert, and then January was, and February have been hit and miss with school. So we've had a lot of things going on. In PD during our TBT meetings, we've had Daily 5 PD and some really cool tech PD that's going on. And we have a lot more coming up. And it's going to wrap around our makerspace room that we are going to have available, and hopefully at the next board meeting you'll be able to see all of it in there. We've partnered with Mideast. They are getting us decals tomorrow, like specs for the decals tomorrow. Really, really excited to see what that's going to look like. They should be in by the next board meeting and up on the walls. This room is going to be a place for the kids to go in and broaden their minds, work on problem solving skills. We've kind of used it hit and miss right now as a reward because some of our kids really like to build with the Legos, and I have Lego countertop and there's Legos on the walls so they can build out and up. We just came back from E-Tech and I learned a lot of cool things there, and I just purchased individual 3D pins, and we're gonna not only use them in the makerspace room, but with our Orton Gillingham training, a lot of that is tactile touching of the letters, so they're gonna be able to use those pins and draw the letters, and then, because they do a lot of tracing, feel that plastic that they use that melts on those, which is really, really cool. We just finished up our fundraiser for the year. We did really well with that. We're in the middle of a what we call WIN challenge, What I Need challenge, and we're using Lexia right now as our challenge. Kids are in what we call intervention groups, but it's not a traditional intervention group. It's more of a team. Everybody has anywhere from 12 to 15 kids on their team, and they're 3 through 5, and they're working all towards their reading goals and their earning points, and at the end of it, there's gonna be 3 pizza parties. And in 2 weeks, we're gonna switch it around, we're gonna do math. So, keeping it fun, a lot of competition. I know the teachers are kinda out for blood amongst themselves, trying to beat each other, so it's kinda fun. We have Moments with Mom coming up. It's our parent-teacher conference day. We bring in the moms, have cookies with them, have the kids take them around and show the stuff that's going on in the building. So, and last year was our first year for it, so this will be our second year, and pretty excited for that. Looks like we may have 5 days this week, which is pretty awesome. It'll be the second 5-day week since the beginning of this new year. And the last thing I'm gonna end with is our jump rope. She's wrapping up her year. She's been to and I say she, it's Miss Duvall and her team has been to OSU for men and women's games. They've been to multiple Marietta games, OU, Cavs, and the big one, March 2nd. Hopefully we have our member Colts there. Or not 22nd is the state championship boys game. They're jumping at both of their halftime games on Friday night. So hopefully we can take the entire district up there and watch our kids jump rope at the state game. And I'm gonna be cutting out here soon because they are doing their parent performance tonight over at the high school, and it's pretty awesome. So if you get out of here early, they start at 7:15.
Middle school, Mr. Blockman.
I'll try to keep it quick so you can get out of here. But I have a lot of awesome stuff to share, so I apologize, but I'm going to show some things too. I want to start off first with before I get to what we have done, but we do have some upcoming events, which is pretty cool. Obviously, in 3 weeks, we have our annual DC trip with the 8th graders, March 13th through the 15th. They'll leave at 6 a.m. or 6:30 in the morning on Wednesday, and then they'll go back about 10 o'clock at night on Friday night. They get to go see virtually everything you can imagine that you want kids to see in Washington, D.C., and see Gettysburg on the way home. We've done that now for 4 straight years, and it's been a big success. I think we have 96 kids signed up to go, which is about 75% of the class, which is, we usually get 75 to 80% of the class going. And so it's been a pretty big success with that. So that's kind of thing coming up soon, but talk about some of the things that have gone on over the past. I want to share, starting with, hopefully I can get this to work correctly. Last night we held our first family STEM night, co-sponsored with the Makers After School program. And it was really not knowing what to expect, and we had to cancel it once because of other stuff, and so we rescheduled it this night. I thought it went extremely well. I think there's some people here who were there. Obviously, Mrs. Burris back there is a huge part in organizing this. I was just kind of a helper along the way. But what it was is we used the Makers After School program along with our what we call our SWAT team, which are students trying to advance technology. Kind of our tech club, and then also our science club. So we made it a kind of an encompassing STEM night. We had 6 different stations, I think, set up last night. And really the best part about it is, and people who were there will tell you, our teachers did virtually nothing. It was all done and run by the kids. They shared what they've been doing, showed some of the things that are going on. This was one of the things in the SWAT club that was one team going on in the back. They learned how to code and program these robots, and they've been doing that. They set up obstacle courses and things like that they could do throughout the back, and the parents got to come down, kids, families, and experience it, play with them, try to see if they could figure it out too, and let these kids kind of share with them what they've been learning and kind of some of those kind of things. So another picture of some of the robots and things going on last night as well. We have things called Merge Cubes, which is augmented reality, and you hold this little kind of cube in your hand. You can hold an iPad or a camera or something up to it, and it will look like it's something else through the app. You can explore like a human body, you can explore solar systems and all that kind of stuff on it, which is really neat. So this is one of our students kind of showing that off last night. You can see the cube in the background there, what it actually looks like. Science club is there, and they're showing off. We have 2 geckos and some turtles in our science, Mrs. Bradshaw's room that we have. And take the lead in kind of running that as the family was there experiencing some of that last night. So really, really good. We had Spheros, Lego Mindstorms, hovercrafts, Merge Cubes, Q robots, science clubs doing experiments, displays. It was kind of an open forum from 4 to 6 last night, and we had some pizza for people who showed up and tried to experience that as much as we can. So I thought it went very, very well, and so we're proud of kind of those things that have gone on too. So those are some of the pictures of those things. You may have seen, we posted a few things about it already, and hopefully soon, Mr. Lowray, there's going to be a newspaper article about Carly Lyons, who is our special education science teacher. She also teaches physical science at the high school. She teaches a college class for us. She does a lot for us. She was applied for last year and won a Fulbright Teacher Exchange Scholarship, which is a federal program sponsored by the Department of State, along with a company called IREX, which is a travel exchange program for teachers. Those 2 organizations work together to establish this program where I think 74 teachers across the country were chosen out of, I want to say they said 600-700 applicants, something like that. And it is very, very intensive. It's not just apply and we'll pick some kids to go. If you're chosen, then you also have to take part in a 10-week basically online class and curriculum, which is very intense. Many of them drop out in that 10 weeks before it gets to the people who are finally chosen. But she stuck it out, did the whole thing, and she is going to be heading this summer for 3 weeks to India to teach in classrooms. So I got to go to Washington, D.C. with her last week. They invited us to go. I want to thank the administration and the board for allowing us to go as well. But the Department of State put us up and allowed us to go to this Global Education Symposium. These are all the members, teachers across the country who were won scholarships. They're going to 6 different countries: India, Morocco, Senegal, Indonesia, Peru, forget the last one. There's one more. But they're going to 6 different countries, about 12 people each time. They split up when they get there. They spend 3 weeks. They do a bunch of neat stuff there. So we're in DC here. We're right down the street from the White House at the Capitol Hilton. And so this is a group there, and this is a group of students or teachers that are going with her to India. There's 12 of them. And so we took a few pictures from there. So really, really neat, and the whole emphasis on global education, cross-cultural communication, being able to experience and allow us to interact with other cultures. And then her job, one of her main jobs out of this, in addition to the pre-stuff, is to come back then, and she has a whole capstone project in terms of how she can use this to help our community and our kids in our school. So it's really neat in terms of what she did there. So again, I think there's a newspaper article coming out pretty soon, was for those at school interviewing a couple days ago. So that was neat. I also have been lucky enough to go to a couple other places recently. Again, I really, really appreciate the opportunity to do this. Anytime I get an opportunity to learn and experience things, it was amazing. This was a trip that 3 of us here in the district went to. We went to Gulfport, Mississippi. I think they went 5-6 years ago. Is that right? I think it was most of the schools from our ESC. I think there was a group of about 35 to 40 educators, superintendents, teachers, all kinds of stuff that went down there. And it's a very unique school district. They're kind of vocational schools built into their high school, but it's all about career pathways and all roads leading to a job. And they start career education and discussions in 4th grade. Not that they're saying you got to do this, you got to do that, but it's just, hey, what are you interested in? Those kind of, and they just get kids thinking about opportunities and pathways. So we got to go down there for a couple days towards the end of January there. This is the superintendent of Gulfport, Mississippi, kind of bringing us in. We got to visit the school.
Research, which creates unified expectations across the building, raises the level of rigor in all of our classrooms. And finally, we've really been building on our career prep and tech skill programs. This year, we're going to have a CTE night in conjunction with the cabaret and the art show. Going to give our career tech programs a chance to kind of show the community what they do. Hey, these projects we've worked on, these are the different things we're doing in the classroom. Trying to kind of raise the awareness of it, so kids understand you can go through Meadowbrook High School and still come out, licensure, certifications, and into jobs. And more importantly, we're going to use that as an opportunity to display all the credentials we're going to offer next year. At this point, we're able to offer at least 6 credentials next year, and we're still looking to add to that. And that's coming right out of the high school. So overall, we're seeing a lot of growth in the classrooms. The teachers are really buying in. There's an air of immediacy, and we're making some progress.
Thank you. Mr. Wheeler, athletics.
It's hard to believe, but spring sports is here. We're already 2 weeks into baseball and softball, so and they actually have scrimmage 2 weeks from Saturday, so it's here. Track officially starts on Monday, and their first meet is at home. It's a 16 meet, and that's 3 weeks from Saturday. So spring sports is here. Recap on winter sports. Varsity boys basketball finished the regular season at 18-4. We won the OVAC 4A championship 4 years in a row. It's quite an accomplishment. This past Tuesday, or I guess this Tuesday here, we won our opening round tournament game, and then we play tomorrow in the sectional championship versus Edison. So that's exciting. If the boys stay healthy and we continue to grow and get better, it could be a pretty exciting 3 weeks for us here, as long as we continue doing what we're supposed to do. So it could be exciting down the road here. Shout out to the freshman boys basketball team. They finished the season 20-2. They had a fantastic year. They won the big school Tri-Valley Holiday Tournament. We always get in that holiday tournament every year. There's some great teams in that tournament, and they always put us with the big schools, Tri-Valley. I forget the team would be in the championship, but it wasn't Dover. But anyhow, that was ECO. But they put us in with the big schools, and we won that tournament, so that's nice. And then we won the freshman ECO tournament this year as well. So they had a great year. At the lower levels, middle school, they got better as the year went on. Obviously, with the weather this year, it kind of hurt the amount of games they played. So we might look at, I might get with the athletic committee early this summer and look at maybe changing a few policies on our lower level games to see if we can possibly get some more games. But with the amount of snow days and stuff we had, it made it very difficult. It was a pretty difficult season at the lower level. Varsity girls finished the season with 3 wins. They got beat by a very good Morgan team last Saturday in the sectional championship. That Morgan team's actually pretty good. They're playing this Saturday at our place for a district championship to go to Sweet 16. So the team that knocked us out of the the tournament is a pretty good squad there. Varsity wrestling, numbers were low this year, and that's a big concern. That's one of the things that we're gonna work on. I've already talked to some of our other coaches in other sports to kind of encourage kids to be involved. That's something that in the off season here that we're gonna work on. But a bright spot is Jared Stillion. He's still representing Colts. He finished third last week in the Division II sectional over at Steubenville. He'll be going up tomorrow to Heath and represent us in the Division II district for a shot at state. So hopefully he has a good showing at the districts and qualifies for state for us. Other than that, things been going pretty smooth.
Okay. Mr. Reach. Services.
It's an exciting time. Like Mr. Wheeler said, we wrapped up Colt Club Hoops back in January. That's always one of my favorite things that we do throughout the year. And the good news is we're going to start our second year of Colt Club Track coming up. I'll get those dates once we get those locked down. And we also started a e-gaming team with the middle school kids as a pilot. And for that, there's a drug and alcohol-based curriculum that goes with that. It's funded through federal safe and healthy schools money. And so the drug and alcohol piece fits into that. There's a whole curriculum that kids have to go through to be a part of the e-gaming team. I thought there would be interest in it. When we first surveyed the students, there's 190 6th through 8th grade students that said that they would be interested in that. So we had to whittle that down a lot. Once we said Fortnite would not be one of the games, that was able to get about 100 or so kids out from expressing interest in that. But we're going to try to grow that. I've talked to the high school tech club. They're interested in seeing how we can grow that. And they will be playing League of Legends on Tuesdays and Rocket League on Thursdays. And Chuck Sowers is going to, he stepped up and said he would take the lead on that and do our drug and alcohol piece with that, with the curriculum that we bought. The curriculum that we bought is, it's a Keeping It Real curriculum, that's the title of it. And what really stood out to me was it's designed for rural students. Sometimes we buy a box curriculum, you got a lot of concerns about it, but when going through and reviewing this looks like it was geared for our kids being from Southeast Ohio. So I'm excited by that. I think that the kids are pumped. I went and talked to them on Monday. We had 5 kids on that team, and they were so excited. These were kids that are just looking for a team or looking for a place to fit in. So it was a good start, and we will continue that through the spring.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Meredith, coordinator your curriculum.
Just a couple things to wrap everything up. Shelley talked about ETech, the Ohio Educational Technology Conference. We were able to send 12 teachers and principals this year for 2-day workshops. And it's just some of the best professional development you can give teachers and principals. So it was really nice to have a group there and be able to learn together. Sarah and I were actually able to do a 3-hour workshop on how our district has used technology to promote culture. So differentiated PD, recognizing students and staff with Colt of the Week, and we had a really good turnout. It was a lot of fun. It was enjoyable. And then just today we had our stakeholders meetings for both of our 21st century programs. So we're looking at year 3 for our elementary one, and then this will be the final year of that. We'll apply again for continuation, and then year 1 of our middle school one. And it was neat. We have to, part of the grant requirements are you hire an external evaluator that really goes through all your data, attendance data, survey data, testing data. And it was really neat to hear her recap and say for a first year program at the middle school, we had greens, and that never happens. So that was good. We're really growing. And then for our 3-year program, the Colts Club elementary one that we're on the tail end of, same thing. So it was really neat to kind of see that and have that put together in a nice, neat package. So we're looking forward to reapplying next year to get a new elementary one and continuing on with the middle school. So it's been really nice.
Okay, thank you. Public participation. No, nobody signed up? Okay.
I didn't sign up, but I'm here. Didn't see the sign-up sheet.
Oh, okay.
My name is Marge Warner. I live in Byesville. I have grandchildren registered in your school district, attend your school right now, as did my children. I'm here representing most of the seniors that I've talked to in our community, in our area, the need for handicap rails in our gym. When you go to a ball game, you want to attend a game. I've called, I've talked to some board members about it. I guess they've addressed that situation. I hope they have. I have been in contact with the U.S. Department of Education on the American Disability Act, sent me to them for that, and had contact with them on it, that we're not in compliance with it. Here locally, through the athletic departments, I was told that we are grandfathered in. I've never heard that term on disabilities. You're not grandfathered in on disabilities. Or that I'm aware of.
Who told you?
I called your office and spoke to your secretary, and they said that Meadowbrook is grandfathered in on having to be compliant on a disability act. I can't find that anywhere.
I don't know that,
It's-
I might get it misunderstood, but the bleachers were the original bleachers with the high school. So when it came out with new guidelines for bleachers and handrails and widths of aisles, those bleachers that are currently there don't fall under the new guidelines. So we're grandfathered in as far as we weren't required to get new bleachers because we still fall under the old guidelines. That's kind of not that we're not required to provide whatever means necessary.
So are you saying you're not,
Those-
we don't have to supply handrails or
The
a
bleachers-
section for people with disabilities?
I'll have to look into that, but those bleachers fall under the old guidelines where
The
they-
bleachers, yes.
those weren't required under the old guidelines. When I did look into getting new bleachers when I first got here, because there's something that's a need, there was multiple things. The big one about putting handrails is our aisleways right now are smaller than the new regulations, and they said if you put handrails in the middle, it's actually a bigger safety concern if you were to have an emergency for people exiting at the same time, because our aisleways are so short. The new regulations require wider aisleways, and actually the distance between our aisles are longer than the new requirements as well. So there was some other issues, other safety concerns with putting handrails up, but our current bleachers fall under the old guidelines, if that makes sense.
When you're saying there's other issues and that you're aware of this problem, have you attempted to resolve it?
No.
And if so, how?
What I meant the other issues is if it's not as simple as just putting a handrail up the middle of the aisleway because it creates a bigger issue of a safety
Absolutely,
concern.
I understand that.
We do have rails, that go up both sides.
I just
The
thought
way
that
these were in-
a certain section of the gym could be.
I'll speak,
designated.
I didn't know anything about any of these concerns, like this is the
Well, this is the first time I'm hearing about it. so-
Okay, yeah, so.
You just
So,
called today,
we're not-
you said?
I called
He-
today, but I've spoken to
I've
Mr.
spoken with
Singleton.
her about it
Okay,
a few
yeah.
times.
I spoke to it,
Yeah,
just not this year.
You haven't spoken with me to.
Yeah.
Not just
So
this
I'm
year.
glad you're here, because like I said, I didn't know anything about it, but, and we're not making excuses, the bleachers are grandfather.
Absolutely.
But I understand your concern, and it's not just you that would have that concern, and I'm just thinking, maybe we can meet and talk about maybe even that first row of the bleachers being assigned areas for people who have difficulty getting around. That would make a little bit of sense to me. I'm not saying we're doing it, I think that'd be
I
a
reserve-
decent.
We do that for a few people. and
I've had people
that's
that's contacted me and said, hey.
But I just think
and
we
reserve seats
just, some
for those
people may not want to contact you. So if we just grab some sections in that
Mm-hmm.
first row and just like, we won't sit here or whatever, and then allow that for comfort, so people are comfortable not having to ask or not, and it's just there for them. There's maybe some of those options, I guess.
That option is not a good one, because if you put us seniors, we seniors there in that front row, which I have sat in, you're getting hit by the ball.
Right.
I just recently got hit in the ball in the face because I was down there in the front.
Sure.
So
I'm
those are
not
just-
saying, I'm
those
just
are
thinking out loud, but,
Options that
Sure.
need to be explored.
Need to
And
be
I hope
explored.
by bringing it here to the board and bringing it to the athletic director's attention.
I think it's perfect.
That we could get some kind of resolution, resolve of the problem, because it's a problem that exists. Look at the crowd at the school. It's seniors. A lot of seniors like to attend these events.
yeah, we love having them.
I hope so.
Yeah, absolutely.
I
No,
hope
we'll, I'll get Mr. Wheeler, I know he'll be
Well,
on.
we need
He's-
to get,
Yeah.
we need to
I'll get
get
on.
Dave Lashley involved as well, he's part of it.
Yeah, but I mean, we'll come up with some ideas. It may not be perfect. We don't have a perfect set we can do, but we're gonna try to make it a little more
As
convenient.
far as right up the middle, that's
Yeah.
not an option.
Right.
Because
Yeah, we,
of the width.
Sure.
We do have some money that you and I spoke about, that's kind of been set aside right now that we, so I'm not opposed to talking as a group at some point to say, maybe we get new bleachers.
I love it.
that meet that.
We spoke about that with the new buildings already. Like,
Yeah.
that's,
And
they've already came in and measured it.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
You know,
but
that way we resolve it and
It's already, it's
Yeah.
already in, trust me.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love the bleachers.
the goal, obviously, yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think anybody would argue with the bleachers.
Yeah.
Very, very high price tag on when it comes to bleachers. And hopefully, who mentioned, Mr. Boffman, I think mentioned it earlier, hopefully we're getting news soon with this power plant that's coming through, where it should be able to get funded soon, so we're gonna be able to build. And then if we're able to build, obviously, all these things will be up to code and make it much more convenient for students, parents, seniors, whatever, to make it a much more enjoyable experience for everybody.
I'm on Bisel City Council. We are awaiting that news too.
Yes, I talked to Jay Jackson today. I know he's excited as well. But no, I appreciate it, and Mr. Wheeler will 100%
Appreciate that.
meet.
It's been an ongoing problem.
I know, Dover and New Philly have special sections even for their reserved sections for parents or.
Yes.
or-
We've
you know,
talked
so
about
maybe
reserve.
we can reserve a spot for seniors, you know. I'm all for it, because I know my mom struggled for a long time. She had a hip replacement, and, you know, to get up and down those bleachers, I watched her struggle, and I understand. I mean, I'm definitely on your side with this, because it would be and you look in the games, and I'm gonna say 25-30% of the attendance is seniors. They love to come and watch games. And this is the first I heard about tonight, but I want you to know that, we'll definitely keep focused toward this.
I have faith that you'll do your job and you will address the issue and try to come to some type of agreement or something to, make it.
So it's a
easy.
very good point. I agree. It's a good point.
And you're not the first one that has, I get stopped for, and like I said, I've had people call me, and I have set out reserved spots in the second row. On our home side there, I reserve a section for some ladies that have asked for that as well, so, that's always an option too. We can get you right to the second row. I mean, temporary option until we get a permanent fix with what we got.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Yep.
Thanks.
Appreciate all the help.
Treasurer's report.
Okay, I have approval of the minutes for both meetings, January 10th, 2019. Approval of financial report as presented for January 2019. Approve the resolution accepting the amounts and rates as determined by the Budget Commission and authorizing the necessary tax levies and certifying them to the county auditor as presented. This is just something that's county auditor sends every year that we just have to approve.
Okay. Do I have a motion to accept the treasurer's report? Have a motion, do I have a second? Have a second. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Wiggins?
Yes.
Mr. Yeager?
Yes.
Mr. Detra?
Yes.
Mr. Singleton?
Yes.
Mr. Stone?
Yes.
Okay, I'll run down through these real quick. Do you have anything on policy?
The only thing, a Neola update will be coming out March 11th at 1 o'clock. He wants to come and meet with the policy committee at that time.
What date was that?
March 11th.
1 o'clock.
Athletics?
I was gonna touch on the situation I heard about tonight. Other than that, I've got something, I guess we can do I'll hit it under building grounds.
Okay. Karen? Legislative achievement? No. Mid-East?
Cruising right along, nothing major.
Pardon?
Cruising right along.
Cruising right along, okay. Personnel insurance negotiations? Building and grounds?
Okay, I guess, I had some people call with concerns on our handicap parking. It can go athletic or building grounds either way. I guess there's some people that definitely have issues getting into the games and parking, getting in and out, and things like that. And I guess we're kind of limited on our handicap parking.
I actually heard about this tonight.
I just heard
called-
today.
Did you
Okay,
hear?
good.
Yeah, I called him.
We have-
on the
we
way
have
and said,
very
I need to talk to you after this.
Okay, but it can fall under athletic, building and grounds, but, like I stated, I'm gonna support, anything to do with helping people. I know we all do, but, my mom she struggled for the whole time my kids were in school with in and out of gyms and games, so this is kind of near and dear to my heart. So if we can do something, maybe you and I and Jeff and Mr. Stoney can get together
and come up with maybe a few more spots or,
Yeah, part of it, Jeff can speak on this better than I can, but the fire lane kept getting piled up.
yeah, that's what I'd heard tonight
Well,
too.
Yeah, so we actually, the only way
We had an
to,
issue,
we
major
had
issue
to
with
fire
it.
marshal contact us. So the only, what we've done, and this was after the second game, is we've just blocked that whole area off. So now, if
They're
you're already,
struggling getting
well,
spots.
not necessarily getting a spot, but it's kind of a long way.
Yeah.
Probably the quickest solution, we have a pass gate right in the back. And we do have nice spots back there. And it's easy, I can put up cones and.
Yeah, I like it.
But people have to communicate that stuff with me though, like that would be the same, cause I could put a cone up but I need to put reserve for whatever, because just cause there's a cone there don't mean it's gonna be reserved.
Oh, I know, and I agree, like I said, I heard
You can't
about this
police-
today,
you can't police that out
and I'm
there,
like, I wanna address it though.
I would say contact me, and that would be the shortest distance to get it directly into the building, because now where the handicapped spots are with that, the way our structure is, I mean, it's kind of a distance to get to the front doors.
I didn't stop and look, but there's no way we can change some handicap spots around at all. I mean,
We may be able to add
we
more,
could
but there's some
but
there.
they're still gonna be further away if we add more, other than maybe that back
This
entrance.
is probably the better.
That's the
option.
best.
Yeah, I like that
That's the
idea.
best way in.
Because
Yeah.
the ones we could put out front, they'd have to go around the sidewalk and everything too. I know the
Yeah.
particular
Is-
woman I heard about was pushing a wheelchair and that.
It is,
horrible
that's the-
situation.
yeah.
The back would be a.
Will it be an
straight
issue though
shot.
with them, as far as money to get in paying, you know what I mean? Cause you're gonna have to come through.
Well,
There's a gate back there.
Well, it's a pass
Yeah.
gate, but we offer senior citizen passes, and it's 62 or over, and I'm gonna assume that the
They
people
can
that
get-
are
yes.
probably have senior citizen.
Yeah, I wanna make it as convenient for them as absolute possible, so,
The only problem I see with it, you never have enough.
I know.
But
I know.
I mean, even.
we blocked off the whole thing during playoff football. We blocked off from the field house, top lane on the field house to the middle school, that whole lane, and they ran it. I mean, it's just,
This
everybody,
particular person is a very big
Yeah.
Meadowbrook fan. And
well, it's the same one I saved seats for.
That's,
It's-
yeah.
Yes.
That's one.
And that's why, you know, I don't wanna mention name, but ever since I've been out here, they've been.
Yes, I already
and
saved seats for it, so I'll talk to her tomorrow.
Can you, okay, good.
I'll talk to her tomorrow, and we'll get a
Thank
reserve
you,
spot back
yes,
for her.
that'd be awesome.
That's easy.
That, I thank you, that'd be, and I know it's, you know, it's, maybe you are going out and beyond a little bit, but it's definitely justified, I think.
Yeah, I'd heard about it.
Did you?
And I'd already called.
Yeah, I heard last night late, and I thought, and I didn't know.
Person must have just called everybody.
I
just heard about this afternoon.
The squeaky wheel gets the grease, and I mean, I respect that,
call each
because,
one of us
and it's
story.
legit, you know that.
Yeah, didn't call you though.
You guys know it is legit, so, okay, thank you,
I
that's
didn't get
all
it
I
from
have.
her, I got it from somebody else.
Well, I got it
I
from
got it
4
from
people.
I'll
But
take
it's
care
all
of it.
legit, thank you, that'll be awesome.
Audit.
It's finished. Had my post audit a few weeks ago. Audit was clean.
Good job.
Community outreach? No.
Our next meeting, Shelley volunteered to have it.
Oh, yeah,
So the next one will be at,
Now, I don't think Angie's.
no.
Okay, so they're not here. Okay, we go to old business. Nothing? Superintendent's report.
No, hey, Mr. Blockman, I really enjoyed your presentation. I'm not sure if everybody picked up on everything. There was a whole lot in that. And the neat thing is, it's well-traveled and it's across the United States, and it's an unbelievable experience for you and other staff members as well, and bring it back to our district. It's fantastic. And with the after-school opportunities, Sarah, you were mentioned, I heard you, but she's a working machine, and some of the opportunities that we provide now with the makers and the STEM nights and the robotics and the e-gaming and you name it, the SWAT program that you do, it's pretty special. And the e-gaming, Mr. Rach, I'm excited to see how that turns out. I walked in there the other day with the students, and the excitement on their face is unbelievable, because oftentimes these students, they are looking for that after-school outlet. They don't necessarily fit in with the band, or they're not necessarily going to play a certain sport, but they have a skill set with e-gaming, and they're the true leaders in that room, and it's pretty special to watch. And it looks like there's traction for this to become an OHSAA sport. So it's always nice to be a coach and be on the leading edge of initiating it. So Mr. Rach, it's super. And listen, a lot of people don't understand e-gaming. And some of us sit here and think, well, that's silly, we shouldn't be doing that. But you know who does? Our kids they absolutely 100% understand it and see the value of it, and they can make careers out of it anymore. And there's college programs for this. It's pretty special. So get in and check that out, and the kids would love to show off some of the stuff that they do as well. And that credentials, everybody knows what our Cole College of Career Center does when it comes to college, and over 150 different courses, and you can get up to associate's degree, and it's the norm here. It's taken for granted at times, but it's the norm here because it's special. But to get 6 extra credentials, and with that golf court trip, where our kids can go and get a job as soon as they leave high school, it's powerful stuff, and it's the type of things that we do here. They just don't happen in other places. And thank everybody in this room for making that happen. With all that being said, I'm going to move on to my recommendations. So I recommend to employ the following: from Joey Adamick as volunteer baseball coach through Matt Wright, assistant baseball coach.
Do I have a motion for item A?
Motion.
Have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Have a second, discussion. Roll call, please.
Mr. Singleton?
Yep.
Mrs. Wiggins? Mr. Detra?
Yes.
Mr. Stoney?
Yes.
Mr. Yurda?
Yes.
B, it's every month. We're a very, very fortunate district, lots of support from lots of different organizations and individuals. So it's my recommendation to accept the following donations from $100 to Brook Intermediate, from an anonymous donor, all the way through the $6,183.04 to Meadowbrook Athletics from boys basketball.
Do I have a motion for item B?
Motion.
Have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Second, discussion. Roll call, please.
Mr. Yurda?
Yes.
Mr. Stoney?
Yes.
Mr. Detra?
Yes.
Mr. Singleton?
Yes.
Mrs. Wiggins?
C, approve the service agreement between Rolling Hills and Spirit as presented. That's the ones that maintain all of our rugs and all of our buildings.
Have a motion for item C.
Motion.
Second?
A second.
Have a second, discussion. Roll call, please.
Mr. Singleton?
Yes.
Mrs. Wiggins? Mr. Detra?
Yes.
Mr. Stoney?
Yes.
Mr. Yurda?
Yes.
D, approve maternity leave for Allison Gardner as presented.
Do I have a motion for item D?
Motion.
Have a second?
Second.
Discussion? We ready to get done? Roll call, please.
Mr. Singleton?
Yes.
Mrs. Wiggins? Mr. Detra?
Yes.
Mr. Stoney?
Yes.
On E, we're losing 2 good ones. Mr. Box, as obviously everybody knows, that has been our band director for multiple years. Took a year off for retirement, then came back and helped us out this year. Just done a magnificent job.
Figures time to go back.
Yeah, so he's gonna retire again. And then Jeff Twitty, who obviously took us to new levels when it comes to our football program, making the playoffs 3 out of the 4 years. We wish him nothing but the best at his new position. So accept the resignation of Mr. Fox, effective June 30th, 19, and Jeff Twitty, effective 8/1/19.
Do I have a motion for item E?
Motion.
Have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Question? Roll call, please.
Mr. Stoney?
Yes.
Mr. Singleton?
Yes.
Mr. Detra?
Yes.
Mr. Yurda?
Yes.
Mrs. Wiggins?
F, authorize the treasurer to reimburse armed staff members for cost of ammunition and training as approved by the safety committee.
Do I have a motion for item F?
Motion.
Second. Second. Question? Roll call.
Mr. Singleton?
Yes.
Mrs. Wiggins? Mr. Detra?
Yes.
Mr. Stoney?
Yes.
Mr. Yurda?
Yes.
G, approve the treasurer's contract as presented.
A motion for item G.
Motion.
Motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Second. Question? Roll call, please.
Mr. Stoney?
Yes.
Mr. Yurda?
Yes.
Mr. Detra?
Yes.
Mr. Singleton? Mrs. Wiggins?
H, approve the contract for an independent contractor as presented.
Do I have a motion for item H?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Question?
Yes. Independent contractor for, what are we?
For some personnel issues.
Okay. Yes, okay, perfect.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Singleton?
Yes.
Mr. Yurda?
Yes.
Mr. Detra?
Yes.
Mr. Stone?
Yes.
Mrs. Williams?
I approve Mike Wiggins, assistant softball coach, effective 2/18/19 for 1 school year.
Do I have a motion for item I?
Motion.
Motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Question? Roll call, please.
Mr. Singleton?
Yes.
Mr. Stone?
Yes.
Mr. Detra?
Yes.
Mr. Yurda?
Yes.
Mrs. Wiggins?
J, approve Chuck Sowers, drug and alcohol educational e-gaming coach, effective 2/25/19 as presented.
Can I have a motion for item J?
Motion.
Have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a second. Question? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Wiggins?
Yes.
Mr. Yurda?
Yes.
Mr. Detra?
Yes.
Mr. Singleton?
Yes.
Mr. Stone?
Yes.
And K, approve the calendar update 18/19 as presented. Makeup day 1 will be April 22nd, it's that Monday over Easter break, and then the remaining will be added to the end of the school year.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second. They did.
Okay. Now question.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay. I had a couple concerned people who work inside the district that they weren't really aware of this, that maybe they didn't get information or basically were unprepared for what was coming. I mean, I guess the issue was with the union and you, Mr. Caldwell, and they just wanted to, they were wondering why they, well, I mean, as far as negotiating what days were made up, was there, or do you just do this on?
No, I don't.
You talk to the union?
Yes.
Okay.
I've actually already met with
The calendar
Zane.
committee and us
Yeah.
met with.
Yeah, but I guess the people that work inside the district were just unclear. I guess they didn't receive any notification as to, this individual was concerned she didn't get any kind of letter or anything, and maybe,
Well,
do we do it in writing? I guess I just got a question. Do we?
We need to approve it, and then we'll
Yes.
make sure that everybody, including parents, will need to get the letter. But I've met with the unions, both sides, and there's a calendar committee that approves the calendars every single year, that the board actually approves. It's a 2-year thing. The only thing that's changed on that calendar is the April 22nd date. Without us adding that, we wouldn't even really need it to take board action, because they wanted April 22nd, so they didn't want to go further. It's the only reason it's here. But
Yeah.
everybody knows, and they also know next year's calendar as well.
Yeah. This person just, when they called me, they said that, will we vote on it? I said, well, absolutely, we'll vote on it. But I guess they were under the impression that it was put in place before we voted. And I said, well, I'll ask the question tonight to make sure.
Calendar is put in place,
Yeah.
and it's already 2 years in advance, so next
Yeah.
year's calendar.
But I mean,
is also-
I'm sorry, I guess it wasn't clear. It was mostly concerned with calamity days and the makeup. That's what it was
I think those are
concerned
listed
with.
right on the bottom of the
Yep.
calendar,
Yeah.
the makeup days.
Okay.
When you
Yeah,
do
there should be any.
When you do your original.
I never
calendar.
received a single call from any staff.
Yeah, this person asked me last night, and I said, well, I'll check, I'll just ask, because I wanted to make sure, they were clear. I said, well, for one, I thought it was, they should check with their union, and, so, that kind of answers it there, but I wanted to make sure I mentioned it,
I
because.
believe this was discussed to lengthen negotiations this year also. I think we got into it to a degree.
Not necessarily the calendar, but we could talk about
With
calamity.
the
days.
hours and the days and all of that, we got into that.
Yeah, this
But
is,
options for makeup days and how they're being made up this year was decided, actually last year by the calendar committee, and then as a staff, we vote on it. It just goes with,
Yeah, that answers the question. I wanted to ask it because I felt like I was obligated to get an answer for her, so.
and tell
I got
whoever
calls
that
too, that's
is.
why I was-
to-
They were very nice about
Yeah,
it.
tell
They just-
whoever it is to talk to me. I
Yeah.
mean, it's pretty simple.
Okay.
Or Zane.
Yeah.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Stoney?
Yes.
Mr. Singleton?
Yep.
Mr. Detra?
Yes.
Mr. Yurda?
Yes.
Mrs. Wiggins? Yes.
Okay, correspondence, we had some thank you notes for some unfortunate things that happened that we'd sent out. We got cards for the Milhome family, the Curry family, and the Stemmer family, thanking us for recognizing some things. Informational items? No? I'd like to make a motion to go into executive session, or I'd like to have a motion to go into executive session to consider the investigation of charges, complaints against public employee, official, licensee, or student, and to consider matters required to be kept confidential by federal law or regulations or state statutes. Do I have the motion?
Motion.
Motion, do I have a second? Question? Roll call.
Okay, Mr. Stone?
Yes.
Mrs. Williams? Mr. Detra?
Yes.
Mr. Salem?
Yes.
Mr. Yurek?
Yes.
We're going to executive session at 7:20. There will be no action taken at the end of executive session.
Alex excited about being pulled away.
I'm sure
from the
Mr.
budget.